So if you simply position your subject in the shade, so they're nicely, they haven't got the sunlight there, you haven't got the harsh shadow. Hiya and welcome back to my channel. And you know, sometimes it's a well-known fact that we always say avoid harsh light because it creates those really contrasty photos. You know, you get the Alice Cooper eyes and everything else that you get, really bad shadowing, unflattering shadows on the subject and all sorts of things. But in this video, I'm going to take you through a few techniques that I do that will then avoid those unflattering shadows and how you can use the harsh light to your advantage. So let's get on with it. The first technique that I'll show you is the way you can use the harsh light as it bounces off the surface, whether it's the floor or a wall or even a reflector. So you can use that to light up your subject really well. So what you do there is position your subject into the shaded area of where you are, but ensure that you're just near where the light is bouncing off the surface, whether it's the wall or off the surface of the floor, or you can actually use a reflector. But the subjects must be in the shade, so they're not getting a harsh light coming down on top of them. And that way you can light up the subject really well and get some really nice shots, like these examples now. You can see in this black and white photo here that it can really illustrate the soft contrast of the highlights and the shadows, where you've got that lovely shadowing across the face here and the soft highlights that's coming across on this side. And this really does create a really nice photo where you can use a bounce to the light from the walls and the surface of the floor to create that nice toned down highlights and the shadows. And in this colour photo here, you can see that it's created a nice even soft light right across the subject. So another really good way you can use direct sunlight is placing the sun directly behind the subject so they're blocking the sun itself. And also using metering mode like spot metering, so you're only exposing for a small area of the frame, which is the face of which you want to focus on. So the camera is ignoring the light behind the subject and then it only exposed for the face. So you get a much better exposure and also it helps with the background. And then of course the sunlight shining off the surface will also light up the subject really evenly. Like you can see now in this camera where I've placed it, I'm standing directly in front of the sun, so the sun's directly behind me, and you can see how well this surface is lighting me up. And obviously when I take the shots, then that does the same thing. Another really good way you can be creative with the harsh sunlight is taking advantage of the contrasty shadows it creates. So if you've got harsh shadows as well, nice sharp shadows, I mean I'm using the tree leaves here to create shadowing across my face, so you can create some nice photos with that and be quite creative. So, but it don't have to be that, you can just find anywhere, maybe in an urban environment where you might have the opportunity to do the same. So it's always good to try and be creative and inventive with the photography and take advantage of that harsh sunlight. Obviously, it's better if the sun's at an angle in the sky, so it's a little bit lower down, maybe 2 to 3 hours before midday or after midday, that you can use this technique and create those nice long lines of shadows and let that wash over the model's face, and then you can just see if that effect is what you're looking for. But it's all about being creative with your photography, so it's another way you can take advantage of the harsh light and bright sunny days. Another really good technique that you can use is use the sun as a key light and actually create that nice Rembrandt light. So you just get the light at about 45 degrees, so position the subject around 45 degrees from the sun, so it's about there, and then allow the light just to wash over the face and then just a slight triangle on one side of the cheek here, and you can get that nice look of the Rembrandt light using the sun as a key light. So that's another good one. So it's always using these techniques, but obviously this will have to wait for 2 to 3 hours before midday or 2 to 3 hours after midday. So the sun's about the right height in the sky, about 45 degrees up, and you can get that nice angle that you need from the light from the sun, but you can utilise the key light. So that's really good. Another technique that you can use is actually using flash in bright sunlight. And what this helps to do is wash off those unwanted shadows on the face. So you just place it, and you can have it off camera as well. That helps create that, and use a diffuser and then set the flash to a certain intensity just to allow those shadows to be less intensive. And that way you can create some nice photos and eliminate those unwanted, unflattering shadows that you don't like on the face. Also, that you can use is your reflector, which is I use NEEWER reflectors, but it comes in you unwrap it, and then what you have is this itself you can use as a diffuser. So you just hold that above your subject here, and then you can create a nice evenly lit subject directly in the sun, which is good. I'll put the link in the descriptions below, because this is really handy. You should always carry one of these about you. So that's it for this video, and I really do hope you got some value from it. And if you have, then hit that subscribe button, press the like button, ring that bell for future notifications, and put some comments in below, because I do look forward to reading them. And you have a good week. Take care.